MMA Fighting presents Timeline, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal 2.
September 11th, 2010, Shark Fights 13, Jardine versus Prangley, Amarillo, Texas. With 25 fights already under his belt, with the majority being at the lightweight limit, Masvidal moves up in weight to face elite welterweight striker Paul Daley. Daley wins a very competitive decision and moves Masvidal's record to 20 victories and 6 defeats. March 5th, 2011, Strikeforce, Feijao versus Henderson, Columbus, Ohio. The 26-fight veteran makes his televised Strikeforce debut opposite the undefeated 11-0 Billy Evangelista. Masvidal wins by decision.
Obviously, I want to put on great shows. You know, these guys always put on great shows, and I want to put a great show on. But naturally, I'm a counter fighter, and if Billy was coming forward, I was just gonna look to counter fight. You know, so I wish I could have got, you know, the fans cheering and doing backflips, but didn't happen this time. Next time, you know. No, I wasn't surprised. I always go into a fight like wanting a knockout, but if I don't see an opening, I won't go crazy. You know, I hit Billy with some good shots, and he recovered right away, so I wasn't gonna overextend myself or get caught in any silly things, you know. So I don't care. Win's a win for me, you know. I just want to keep winning, building my wins up. I know Billy had like 6 or 7 straight wins in Strikeforce, so he's definitely got to be up there. If I can't fight for the title, the next toughest guy out there, I'd like to fight him and kick his butt, you know. That's all I want to do, man. Just keep fighting, man. Whoever it be next.
June 18th, 2011, Strikeforce, Overeem versus Verdum, Dallas, Texas. Masvidal returns to the Strikeforce hexagon to face former Elite C lightweight champion KJ Noons.
You know, you made your Strikeforce debut in March. You had that dominant win over Billy Evangelista, but there were some boos in the crowd and there were some people who criticized you for maybe going the safe route. What did you think of your performance and of the criticism you received afterwards?
Well, a lot of people, man, the people booing in the crowd never really care because half of them are drunk. They just want to see sock'em, rock'em robots, you know, and that's not me. You know, I never done that. I putting out guys in the first round, but that's because I created openings and I heard them and I followed up on it. I'm not a guy that's going to get hit just to give a hit, you know. I'm going to hit you and I'm going to move and I'm going to move my head, you know. Some people don't like it, some people love it, you know. I got just the interview before. I just did an interview right now and they were telling me, it's like, hey, that last fight was really close and you're telling me I blew the guy away. So it's like, you know, everybody, that's their opinion. I can't get mad, you know, and hopefully the fight on Saturday, they like it more, man.
He told us that he has a hard time not looking past you because he really wants to fight for the title. Are you in the same position? Are you kind of starting to think about Gilbert because maybe a win over him will lead to a title shot?
Man, of course I want that gold wrapped around my waist. That means a lot more money. But if Cage is looking past me, man, he's going to wake up with a tube in his mouth, getting rushed to the hospital, you know? So he could do whatever he wants. I'm looking at him and only him after him. I don't know if I'm going to fight for the title. I don't know if I'm going to fight Justin Wilcox. I don't know if I'm going to, you know, I wouldn't want to fight Jay-Z, but you know, whoever it be next, man, I'm ready for it, you know? So I'm not looking past KJ. I want to destroy him, you know?
Masvidal wins by unanimous decision.
Post-fight at Strikeforce in Dallas with a very happy Jorge Masvidal who defeated KJ Noons tonight. And Jorge, congratulations on the big win. A lot of people were saying this was one of your best performances of your career. Would you agree?
I definitely think it's good. Everybody likes that. Like, I don't know if I was you that I told earlier, or I forgot who, that rock'em sock'em, you know, hit the guy, get hit, you know, and that's why people liked it, because KJ, though, he got it from the kick. He was putting pressure on me. He wasn't hitting me, but he was putting good pressure, so I know people like that. But it's, I thought my Billy Evangelista fight was a real good fight. You know, Billy's real tough. He kept coming forward the whole time. I didn't take no hits, no damage. And that's what I think it is, as close as you can to perfection. Don't give him no takedowns, don't get punched in the face and score, you know. And that's what I think makes a good fight. Not you get hit, you come back, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's funny how it works in MMA because a lot of people, as we talked in the pre-fight interview, were criticizing you for that performance, and they loved this performance because it was rock'em sock'em. And I think a lot of people are now.
So I didn't get hit, just this.
Right.
It wasn't rock'em sock'em, you know. It was close to the rock'em sock'em, you know. But still, I was the way that I picture a fight is like a pretty thing, you know. You hit, you move, you think, you know. When the guy does this, you do that, and if he does that, you do this, you know. And that's how I think a fight's pretty, you know. Some guys just want to see two guys punching, you know what I'm saying? Just punching each other in the head so one of them drops, and that's cool now, but that's not how I was raised to fight, and that's not what I think a long-lasting career in any sport of combat will take you to the higher levels, you know what I'm saying?
Do you feel as though now you have, you know, it's funny because I remember talking to you right after Amada submitted you, and you were sort of on the receiving end of this very famous submission. Now you're on this role in Strikeforce. You're fighting in a bigger promotion, and it feels as though now you're really starting to get a lot of respect. You've been around this sport for a long time. Do you feel as though you have a lot of momentum now going into this fight?
Yeah, I got a lot of momentum. Like you said, I've been around for a while. You know, I just had some ups and downs. Imada, I'm gonna kick your ass one day. No hard feelings. I like the guy. He's a cool guy, man. But I gotta get that win back one of these days. Imada, man, I'm gonna make it happen, man. One of these days I gotta get Imada back. But
You still think about that?
of course, man. I think really, if you look at my record, I got 2 legitimate losses. It's Imada and this other guy that beat me young in my career. The rest of them, I think I won them, and I just had unfair decisions, you know. But that's why I think a lot of times people overrate me. They look at my record, they see 6 losses, you know, but it's really 2 losses, man. And I done fought some tough guys and beat them up, you know. Gilbert won't be no different. Another tough guy that I'm gonna beat up.
Masvidal would be awarded a shot at the lightweight title, but would go on to lose to the champ, Gilbert Melendez, by decision. Jorge Masvidal would get back to his winning ways by defeating Justin Wilcox at Strikeforce Rockhold vs. Kennedy in Portland, Oregon. April 20th, 2013, UFC on Fox 7, Henderson vs. Melendez, San Jose, California. Jorge Gamebred Masvidal makes his UFC debut at lightweight against lanky striker Tim Means. Masvidal wins by decision.
Debut, Jorge, congratulations on picking up your first UFC fight. A tough, gritty fight, a lot of bleeding. How you feel afterwards?
I feel great, man. Tim Means is way tougher than I expected, and I'm just glad to get my victory, get the jitters out the way, get that I don't know what is it they call it, the UFC bug or whatever.
The octagon jitters.
The octagon jitters. Got them out the way, and I like it, man. This is gonna be my home for a long time.
Okay, final thing, for a guy who's been in the sport for 10 years, you fought almost everywhere, even some backyard fights with Kimbo. What's it like? Not to say that you're a UFC guy, that you want to fight inside the octagon.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm fighting everywhere. I'm a veteran of the sport, man. I'm young, you know, but I've been everywhere, and I love it, man. I love it here. You know, I'm gonna be able to put 4 or 5 fights a year easy, you know, feed my family, so I'm ready to go, man.
How are we celebrating? McDonald's? What are we doing? Brownie? Taco Bell? What are we getting?
I'm in the West Coast, so I'm gonna try some West Coast burgers, In-N-Out or Jack in the Box, something like that, you know.
July 27th, 2013, UFC on Fox 8, Johnson vs. Moraga, Seattle, Washington. Masvidal is matched up against tough winner Michael Chiesa at lightweight.
Michael, very complimentary of you. He said that you're a guy that he watched for many years as he was climbing the ranks. You not so complimentary of him. You called him a watered-down version of Royce Gracie. You didn't seem to think like he's on your level. Is that accurate?
It's not that he's not. It just, I don't like the way he acted towards a teammate of mine that he fought, and it's the way he carried himself, so it's just whatever to me, you know what I'm saying? I don't like the dude, you know what I'm saying? What? You don't want to be unsportsmanlike, that's cool, you know? Try that with me, you know what I'm saying?
So you're going to go in there and try to get payback for your buddy?
I'm not going to try.
You will?
You know what I'm going to do, man.
This is a very big deal for him, this fight, because he's from this area and he's been dreaming about fighting in Key Arena. Do you like being the kind of enemy going into enemy under? Do you like that? Why?
Color me flattered. I love it, man. I come in here and just do my job, and if I get the boos, I love it. If I get the ahs and oohs, it's cool too. But you know, the boos is a special place in my heart, man.
Why? Why do you like that?
I don't know. I just like the boos, you know, just as much as I like the oohs and ahs, you know. I'd rather actually the boos. So then after the fight, I don't got to worry about like people like taking pictures now, and they're just like, oh, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, whatever.
Throw things at you,
yeah, throwing things.
Spit on you.
Yeah, it's the usual, you know?
Post-fight at UFC on Fox 8 alongside Jorge Masvidal, who just submitted Michael Chiesa with 1 second remaining in the second round. And Jorge, congratulations on a win. Early on, he dropped you. It looked like things might get dicey. How did you regroup?
That just pissed me off, man. I was so mad when I realized what happened when I was on my butt on the single leg. I was like, oh man, you're in for a world of trouble if I get out of here. And I was just saying to myself, if he doesn't put me to sleep right here, right now, I'm gonna get him. And I got him.
What does this do for Jorge Masvidal? Where does this put you in the division?
Hopefully it puts me somewhere in the division, man. Give me some top 5 guys. These guys are overrated, and I'm here to bring the truth to the light, you know what I'm saying?
Who's overrated?
All of them.
However, Masvidal would suffer his first UFC defeat after being out-wrestled in a decision loss to top prospect Rustam Khabilov at UFC Fight Night 31, Kennedy vs. Natal. April 19th, 2014, UFC on Fox 11, Verdum vs. Brown, Orlando, Florida. Masvidal is matched up against durable wrestler Pat Healy. Jorge Masvidal wins by unanimous decision.
I got to give a big shout out to my wrestling coach, Kamaru Usman, that every day is just pushing me. And I got great sparring partners, Nathan Coy and Kobe Covington. They're both from Oregon. They both wrestle for the University of Oregon, and those guys kick my ass every day. So me getting wrestled up against the fence is just a part of the job. I was happy to be there. I could feel him wearing out. And I know my corner was screaming for me to get out of the cage, but I could feel him getting weaker as the exchanges were happening,
Gamebred would follow this with a decision victory over Darren Cruikshank at UFC on Fox 12, Lawler vs. Brown. And at UFC 178, Johnson vs. Carriazo, Masvidal would defeat James Krause by decision to extend his win streak to 3.
I'm going to In-N-Out Burger right now. Then I'm going to go hit up a buffet, but In-N-Out is the first thing I'm going to go do right now.
What's your burger you get there?
I got to get the biggest one, the double.
4x4.
Yeah, 4x4. Yeah. Whatever I get my hands on, the biggest burger. I already got the food coming. I got like 3 number 1s coming with a milkshake. I'm gonna be like at 200 for the night. So.
April 4th, UFC Fight Night 63, Mendes vs. Lamas, Fairfax, Virginia. Masvidal is matched up against top-ranked contender Raging Al Iaquinta. In one of the most controversial decisions of the year, Iaquinta wins a split decision despite receiving 30-27 from one judge. And according to MMADecisions.com, 12 of 14 media members had Masvidal winning the fight, with 6 of them giving every round to Gamebred. More importantly, this would be Masvidal's last fight at 155 pounds. July 12, 2015, The Ultimate Fighter 21 finale, Las Vegas, Nevada. After accumulating a 5-1 record outside of the UFC and 2 consecutive decision victories on the reality show, The Ultimate Fighter, Kamaru Usman makes his official UFC debut against Haider Hassan in the show finale.
Obviously, people were watching. If you watch The Ultimate Fighter, you know that a lot of people on your team did not want you to be the one to represent you guys in the last fight. So how have you processed that? What kind of adjustments have you made, since the show in preparation? We all know that Haider's got that big punching power. So what adjustments have you made? And sort of what are you feeling knowing that you weren't the guy that everybody necessarily wanted?
At the end of the day, just kind of assessing it. Initially, it's a bit hard to take in, but I mean, all through life, my dad's always taught me people are going to doubt you. Some people aren't going to believe in you. It's how you believe in yourself. And I've proven it going out. I believe in myself. And in every stage of my career, whether it's from wrestling to getting to this point, I believe in myself and I go out there and I give it my all. And that's brought me this far. And as far as punching power, damn near everybody has punching power. If you look at the welterweight division, everybody has punching power. That means absolutely nothing. I've been hit before. In our sparring session and practice, each and every one is a pay-per-view event. So that's gonna mean nothing to me. I'm gonna go out there and implement my game and do what I do. And break is not a word he should ever associate with me because that's not something I do. I'm a wrestler at heart, 100% wrestler, and I do the breaking.
Usman defeats Hassan by arm triangle choke early in round 2.
My thought process was to go out there and just do what I do and focus on the fight. I wasn't worried about the contract or the win or the money or things like that. That was just an added bonus. If I went out there and performed the way that I'm capable of performing, I knew everything else would follow suit. And so, that was just my main focus, was to go out there and do what I do best.
That said, getting the confirmation that you're in the UFC officially, was that a huge moment for you?
Yeah, that definitely feels better. Feels good.
Give me a grade for this season of The Ultimate Fighter. Dana White told me afterwards he's done doing team versus team. Are you surprised by that? And also give me that grade.
Not surprised. I think that there was high hopes for this season because there was that great rivalry between the two teams, but it just seemed a little flat. And I got to be honest, I really didn't watch a good portion of the season. I kind of gave up.
How dare you?
Kind of gave up on it a little bit, and I caught up, with it again at the end, and there were some good fights at the end. But yeah, I don't know. There just wasn't really a big buzz, and I think it was one of the least successful in terms of ratings, seasons ever. So I don't know. I think that when we look back, though, I think that Usman is a guy that I think one of the guys that we'll look at and say, hey, this season at least produced someone who could be very good. And he didn't have the greatest run on the show, but I think that he is a legitimate prospect at 170. His wrestling is excellent, is fantastic. His transition wrestling that he showed tonight was great. And he's developed some striking. I was talking to Rumble Johnson about him. He said that he's really doing a nice job in striking too. So I think that at least we can look to a prospect coming out of that season, which is really kind of a lackluster, season in general.
Also on this card, Masvidal makes his welterweight debut for the UFC against former middleweight Cesar Ferreira. Masvidal wins by first-round knockout and takes home a $50,000 performance bonus.
The difference is huge. I felt when I woke up today, when I was doing my sprints, I always do sprints in the morning before the day of the fight. I felt good. I felt explosive. Usually I feel like a little lethargic or heavy when I drop down to 56 and then I put the weight back on. I'm usually around like 78. So just putting all that weight back on, I don't feel good. I felt great today.
Obviously, you initially missed weight as well, which is a little surprise since you were moving up. What happened there? And I mean, was that just a miscalculation or what was the issue?
Well, one of the UFC guys wanted to run by Steak and Shake, or In-N-Out Burger real quick, so I got tempted and whatever,
You want to say? So say Masvidal, I think he has a chance to take a star turn because he's at 170 now. It's a very high profile division, and some of the stuff that he said, he called out Matt Brown. Not a lot of guys call out Matt Brown, and he said in the press conference tonight that he was a little bit overweight because he had some In-N-Out Burger. This guy has a personality that can really make him into a star. He's so honest. He has no filter. He told Sean and I the other day at media day that he had a couple grands on the McGregor fight and the Robbie Lawler fight, and he ended up winning. This is before the fights, and he ended up winning. So he won the bonus tonight, and he won his bets on McGregor and Lawler. So big win for Masvidal. I think that's a guy that can be a star, man. I think he's so honest. He's got a great personality, and at welterweight he may have more finishing power. He may be even more exciting. So I think look for him in the future to do big things.
Masvidal would then be rewarded with his first UFC main event against Ben Henderson in Seoul, South Korea. Masvidal would lose an extremely competitive split decision to the former lightweight champion. The bad luck would continue at UFC Fight Night 88, Almeida vs. Garbrandt, where Gamebred would lose yet another split decision against top welterweight contender Lorenz Larkin. December 19th, 2015, UFC on Fox 17, Dos Anjos vs. Cowboy 2, Orlando, Florida. Usman returns to the cage to face rising UK prospect Leon Edwards. Kamaru Usman wins by decision.
I've said it, I've said it to myself countless times, day in and day out, and I'm gonna say it to everyone, before I'm said and done, I will be king of this division one day. And, unfortunately, my performance tonight didn't show it, but when I come back in here next time, it'll be way better, way more dominant, and you can count on seeing finishes from me because one day I will be king of this division.
July 23rd, 2016, UFC on Fox 20, Holm vs. Shevchenko, Chicago, Illinois. Kamaru Usman is back in the cage against Russian fighter Alexander Yakovlev. Usman defeats Yakovlev by decision and climbs to 8-1 as a professional.
I wanted to go out there and really be exciting and get that finish on my feet, but being exciting, you go out there and you get clipped and you lose the fight, you go home with one check. And so, I want to be exciting, but I come to win every single time. And so winning is the most important thing. If you're losing, you can be the most exciting guy in the world. If you're losing, you're not going to stick around for very much longer. I can keep winning all the way to the bank, and I'm going to keep winning and racking up those checks. And those finishes will come.
Usman would follow that victory up with another decision victory over Brazilian brawler Warley Alves at UFC Fight Night 100, Bader vs. Nogueira 2 in Sao Paulo.
I have stand-up, but when you could just dominate guys by not taking any damage, isn't that what we want to do? You want to take a guy down and beat him up and not take any damage. And so when you're capable of doing that and no one was able to stop me from doing that, I kept doing that. But that doesn't mean I don't have stand-up. I have very, very good stand-up, which I showed in my last fight. At the end of the day, it's I'm not going to be fake. I'm not a fake person who's going to create something just for the cameras. If the promotion is willing to invest and look deep enough into me, they will see that definitely I'm someone who's marketable. I come from humble beginnings. I was a kid from the streets of Nigeria, to where now I'm living a dream that, there's millions of kids that are back home in Nigeria, in Cameroon, or all the African countries, never dream of, we wake up hoping we can get fresh water, walk 10 miles to go get fresh water. You never dream that you're gonna be in a country like this, on a stage like this. And so that's something that me and a friend of mine, Francis, are doing. We're inspiring the masses all over the continent.
July 30th, 2016, UFC 201, Lawler versus Woodley, Atlanta, Georgia. Riding a 2-fight losing streak for the first time in his career, Masvidal is booked against veteran striker Ross Pearson. Masvidal wins by decision.
Are you happy with the result? Obviously, you get the W, but did you sort of feel like you needed something emphatic, a finish, something to tell people
I definitely needed a finish.
Yeah.
I wanted to finish. I didn't get it. Ross is a tough customer, but I'm still improving. I'm 31, and I've been in this game for a long time, but I'm still young as far as like miles go. If you see my style, I don't get hit often. I just got a good style for the sport, so I'm just improving more, and there's things I still got to tweak,
So what makes sense next? Obviously, Pearson wasn't your original opponent. What are you thinking?
The winner of Jake Ellenberger, Matt Brown, sounds like a treat for the fans. I know everybody would like to see that fight. I know I want an easy payday, so that'd be a great fight for my ass.
Masvidal would follow up that victory with a TKO over Jake Ellenberger at the Ultimate Fighter 24 finale, Johnson vs. Elliott. January 28th, 2017, UFC on Fox 23, Shevchenko vs. Pena, Denver, Colorado. Now riding a 2-fight win streak at welterweight, Masvidal is set to face fan favorite Cowboy Cerrone.
To me, it's always business. It's never personal. I don't really care for the dude. I don't like him at all. If he dies or becomes a millionaire, it doesn't make me lose sleep. I don't care for him at all. But it's still business to me,
When you see him talking about fighting Damian Maia or calling out Woodley, what does that tell you? Is he looking past you?
Oh, I love it. I hope he's looking past me. I hope he didn't run the extra miles. I hope he just thinks that this is a walk in the park. It's better for me. Easy money campaign.
In a breakthrough performance, Masvidal steamrolls Cerrone and defeats him by KO 1 minute into round 2.
Do you feel like, you're kind of in that spot where, you have to start doing crazy things to try to get, more and more opportunities?
It's not crazy. It's a formula I see Instagram. If you post 5 pics a day with 30 hashtags, you're going to get up to the 100, 200, 300K followers, whatever it is that they consider you to be popular. That's not me, though. My skill is in the gym. I'm in the gym so long I ain't got time for them corny ass posts. All I got time for is to go to the gym, home, rest. And while I'm here speaking and all the new media's out here, American Top Team, the best gym in the world. Why don't we get mentioned? We got 3 current champions right now. We got guys in the top 10 of every weight division. The greatest fucking team in the world. My boy over here, Gregory Chopling Mutai, KO Zone, what's up? Make sure y'all put that in your publications, man. Please. Thank you.
April 8th, 2017, UFC 210, Cormier vs. Johnson 2, Buffalo, New York. Kamaru Usman returns to face the 18-1 Sean Strickland on the prelims.
Moving along now, here you see Kamaru Usman. He meets Sean Strickland tomorrow night. They call him the Nigerian Nightmare. Fights, of course, out of Boca Raton, Florida. We met him on The Ultimate Fighter when it was the Black Zillions versus American Top Team. And how much has changed since then? Usman weighing in with the socks. Classic veteran move. 170.2 for the Nigerian Nightmare, 170.2 for the man wearing the socks. Why get those toes cold?
Usman wins by decision.
According to Fight Metric, you're the first welterweight since 2007 to win your first 5 fights in the welterweight division. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I don't really keep up with a lot of those stats. I just do my job as a fighter, go out there and try to rack up the wins and entertain fans.
Obviously, though, that speaks to your success as of late. Do you feel like now it's time? I mean, you've done a really good job of calling out top dogs, but you haven't gotten that big fight just yet. Do you feel like now you will finally get it?
Yeah, as a fighter, and now, I came in as I don't do this because there's nothing else for me to do. I do this because I choose to do this. I love the competition. This is another way for me to compete and really show, what I put into it. I chose this, and so I'm putting everything into it. And so, when I came in, of course I want to be successful. I want to win my fights, but I've started to understand the entertainment aspect of it. These are fans that are paying money to come out there and watch us. And a lot of these fans don't know the intricacy of MMA, don't know the technical aspect to jiu-jitsu or wrestling. A lot of them, kind of want to see a fight. And so you have to entertain, and I'm just starting to understand more and more of that. And so I want to put on a show more and more for them. But I'm not going to forget, my skills that I work on each and every day.
Usman would go on to get his first UFC knockout over Sergio Moraes at UFC Fight Night 116, Rockhold versus Branch. Usman would face Emil Meek next at UFC Fight Night 124, Stevens versus Choi in St. Louis, Missouri.
Like, let's be honest, look at the fight. Like, what about Meek scares me that it's like, oh, don't fight this guy. No, does he have big power like Woodley? No. Can he out wrestle me? No. Can he out grapple me? No. Like, this was a just stay busy. Here's a fight because no one else will fight you here, but he's kind of trying to make it seem like, oh, you're trying to duck me. What do I have to duck? I'm asking for harder guys. Why? How is that me ducking you? Like, it makes no sense.
What do you make of Colby saying no?
It's one of those things that it's rough because he's one of the guys that's been saying, oh, I've been ducking it. Specifically saying I've been ducking it when that fight is never offered. But now the fight's being offered and he's saying, no. Blatantly, 3 different occasions, he said, no. I can't understand why he wouldn't take the fight. I mean, well, in a sense, I can. He thinks he's next in line for a title shot, which it's clear they're not giving you a title shot. So, hey, take the fight. At least prove to the people that you are the best. You're next in line for the shot. But
Usman wins by decision.
That I'm a wrestler. Don't get it wrong. I can stand up and strike. You've seen it. Just because of my last fight, because I had to do what I had to do to win, because I was dealing with some pretty serious injuries, people are forgetting that the fight before, I let a jiu-jitsu expert up. I knocked him down and I let him get back up just so I could knock him out eventually. The fight before that, I fought Sean Strickland, a very, very tough and talented striker. I think his record's like 19 or 20-1 or 2. And I still kept him standing and beat him up, shut him down the whole time. The fight before that, I fought a very dangerous Warley Alves, kept the fight standing the whole time and beat him up. Just because of that one performance, people are kind of trying to downplay everything that I've accomplished, that I can't strike. I can strike with the best of them.
May 13th, 2017, UFC 211, Miocic versus Dos Santos 2, Dallas, Texas. Masvidal returns to the cage to face top contender and former title challenger Demian Maia.
Who is the most dodge fighter? Who's the guy that you've called the most and they've said no to or just hung up on, huh? And I'm not just talking about the fights that got signed and then later on got broken up. I'm talking about backstage, which I won't even mention those hoes' names. But I'm the dude that gets denied the most. Decline every time.
Why do you think that is?
Because I can fight, man, and I'm mean and I'm good everywhere. You don't look at me fight and go, oh man, but if I do this, then I'll have an upper hand. No, because I'm good everywhere. So it's gonna be a fight no matter what. It's gonna be a testament of my will versus somebody else's will every time. And I got more will than everybody. All I'm saying is, I'm here to fight, man. And Damian is by far the #1 contender. They wanted to make Cowboy also fight after my fight for the title. Well, I took care of that guy twice in one night. Yeah. If I could get by Maia and I'm not fighting for the title, I'm speechless, The sport's gone in another direction and not what I signed up for. When I got into fighting, it was before Ultimate Fight. I already had pro fights. It was guys that were fighting, no time limit, just wanting to be the best in the world. And it didn't matter about fame. And it's awesome that we get money and stuff, but those guys didn't care about fame and money, and that's why I got into it. Obviously, I want to get paid as much as I can, but I don't care about the fame and stuff like that. But the sport has gone in that direction. That's not me, man. I'm here to just fight, and if I get famous off my fighting, awesome. If not, whatever,
Well, this is good because I thought that you were going to rip on the media and all that, but it seems like you actually start to like the media now.
No, I still can't stand you, motherfucker.
Why?
But why? Because it's how long I've been doing this, and now people are like, man, this guy's awesome, this and that. I didn't just wake up and get good. I've been
We've been covering you for a long time. I remember in Dallas, you fought in Strikeforce here, remember?
Yeah, but you're my partner, and that's why I never not do interviews with you, because you're my boy. Though I don't like to do this, look,
You're great at it.
When I come into a room and there's a bunch of people, I don't like it, man. I'm antisocial. I grew up a little different where you just don't talk to random people and stuff because they might try to rob you or something. So I'm not really used to it still.
I think you're good here with these folks.
Yeah, I think I'm good, but I'm still not used to people just coming up to me in the street and talking to me. It kind of throws me off. So talking to the media, especially the fake media, feels like, man, I'm getting these guys money. I'm not getting no money off of it because for years they didn't do shit for my career. Sure. You know? Who the hell was covering me? Nobody. When I would put on an amazing performance at Strikeforce, like you just said, beating KJ Noons, didn't nobody give a fuck about that, you know? So why now they're all on me? Because I beat Cowboy? Who the fuck is Cowboy? You know what I'm saying? He's a good fighter, but who the fuck is he? I beat other guys like him or better. Now all of a sudden, everybody wants to be my best friend. Everybody wants to text me, oh, let me get an interview with you. Man, after this fight, if you want my boy from the gate, I'm gonna start charging for these interviews because they're doing them clickbaits and they're getting all that money. I need money. Let me wet my beak. Give me $100 from now. You want to interview with me? Put some money in my hands after this fight because I'm not getting nobody else paid. I need to put my kids through college. You know what I'm saying? So I have a lot of discontent with the media. You know, even after the Cowboy fight, they didn't say how good a performance I did. They said Cowboy shouldn't have took that fight because it was too early. Cowboy should have not fought a guy like me that wasn't even ranked. Cowboy looked flat. But they forgot that right before Cowboy had that fight, I fought 2 weeks before against Jake Ellenberger, the guy that destroyed the guy that almost, that him and him had a little war with. You know what I'm saying? People forget that shit, and that shit bothers me, man, you know? I'm here to fight and to fight the world's best. That's it.
Maia wins by split decision, snapping Masvidal's 3-fight winning streak. November 4th, 2017, UFC 217, Bisping versus St. Pierre, New York, New York. Masvidal returns to action on the pay-per-view main card against top contender Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
But the goal is beat Wonderboy on Saturday, and then you're the #1 contender.
No, look, I can't just beat him because they'll rob me of a decision. I got to murder him. So the goal is murder him, move on to the title, and then whatever happens, happens, you know?
What do you mean by murder him?
Murder him, like make sure he leaves in the stretcher because I'm not winning a decision in New York against him, you know? So I got to make sure that he can't walk out of there in one piece, you know?
Masvidal loses back-to-back fights at welterweight as Wonderboy wins the decision. May 19th, 2018, UFC Fight Night 129, Maia versus Usman, Santiago, Chile. Riding a 7-fight win streak in the UFC, Kamaru Usman is booked in his first main event opposite top-ranked grappler Demian Maia. Usman wins the 5-round fight by decision.
I might not be the best striker. I might not be the best jiu-jitsu guy. I might not be the best wrestler. But when you put it all together, I'm a bad motherfucker to deal with. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a bad motherfucker to deal with. I don't care. Somebody might hit harder than me. Somebody might, grapple better than me or have better jiu-jitsu. But when you mix it all together, mixed martial arts, I am a bad motherfucker to deal with. And I've been quiet for too long. And some people might say, oh, we're cocky no, I'm not cocky. I'm confident in my abilities because I know I've put the time in to build that skill.
March 2nd, 2019, UFC 235, Jones versus Smith, Las Vegas, Nevada. Kamaru Usman is booked against the champion Tyron Woodley as the co-main event for UFC 235.
From your perspective, how did this finally come together for you against Woodley?
If you guys notice, I've said this. I put out a bout agreement a long time ago. I've said this fight.
It was real.
Yeah, this is real. I wasn't joking. I said this fight was gonna happen. It was kind of one of those situations where their fight should have been happening. Kobe should have been fought. He should have already fought Tyron Woodley a while ago. Took his ass whooping there. But unfortunately, these guys kept playing games. No, I'm not ready. I'm ready. I'm not ready. So, with all those games, this time's not gonna wait for you guys. Everything keeps rolling. This is a well-oiled machine. It keeps on going. And so these guys kept playing games, and I'm right there like, hey, I'm ready. And so the company said, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna go with the guy that is ready. And not just that. I mean, it's time for you to see the new champion. It's time for you to, it's not just, I don't just come, like everyone else. I come not just with a country. I come with a continent. And it's time for us to expose this sport to that continent. And when we do, I mean, you only have maybe five Africans right now in the UFC. Imagine when we expose that continent to this sport. I mean, this sport is just gonna blow up so big and so amazingly that to where I believe the company is like, you know what? It's time for us to take a chance and open this up. So, which is why I'm here today. I ain't backing up. You hit me, I'm still coming. And I'm coming all night long, T Wood. Please don't back up.
Brother.
Don't back up, my man. Don't back up.
Bruh.
Marty,
I'm your mentor.
Hey,
Hey, listen.
You talking back to your mentor right now.
When you hear and new, you know, you're going to feel real special when you're walking backstage.
You don't even believe that yourself. Like, you want to be so cool. You want to sound like LL Cool J. You don't even believe it yourself.
I don't believe it.
You don't even believe it yourself.
You believe it, though. Hey, you believe it. You've been a good champion.
Oh, my God.
You've been a good champion, T.
Here come LL Cool J.
You've been a good champion, T. Thank you, T. You've been a good champion.
Let me get my chapter.
You've been a good champion. You know what? This is one thing. This is one thing I want to tell everybody.
You've been a good champion.
You know what?
Who was that? What?
Oh, you was that?
What?
Who was that?
What?
I'm gonna tell you, you've been a good champion.
I want you to tell me how you're gonna do it, though. That's what I want you to provide me.
All right, let's get another question, you two. Let's get another question.
All right.
You want to sub me in? Hey, fall back to Boca, sub me in. The real champ's here. The real champ. Yo, you boy, bro. You boy. Hey, show me that energy. Show me that energy. Let's see that energy. You ain't got no energy. That's right. You ain't got no energy. Have a dance off. Dance off. You can't stop it! You can't stop it! And try getting knocked out Saturday night, scrub! You're still number 2 in the world!
I thought it was a bum. Like, I looked over and it looked like a bum on the street that bought one of those little, little replica belts, and because he had some hat on too, some little trucker hat. I was like, oh, is that a bum? And I had to look closer and I saw it. There's a reason it's roped off and you're outside the ropes. You could have been inside. You're outside. So stay on the outside and keep making noise. I don't really care about that.
You feel like it was over the line for him to come try to maybe steal your spotlight a little?
No, that's what you expect for guys like that. I don't care. If after I'm done with Tyron Woodley, if he plays his cards right, he has to beg me now, because 5 times I've been offered that fight. I've accepted all 5. He's declined all 5. All you guys know that. He's declined it, so he has to beg me for that fight.
Co-main event, Tyron Woodley versus Kamaru Usman. Apparently the next contender for your interim title here.
Yeah. Most likely Tyquil Woodley is going to knock out Snoozman, but it could be a bore fest. So, I had to come out here and please the fans because they might be disappointed tomorrow night.
Obviously, Colby, you wanted to meet your presence belt this week. You came to the open workouts, so of course you had a little shot with Dana White.
The real champ.
Why? Why did you do this week?
Why did I do this? Because the UFC promised that the real welterweight champ would be here this weekend, so I'm here as the real welterweight champ. This is the #1 contendership fight this weekend. That's all it is.
So you came in to make sure that your voice was heard, that your presence was felt a little bit.
Dude, I'm the people's champ. I came among the people. There ain't none of these other fighters are coming out here hanging out with the people. I'm the people's champ, man. I'm putting it on the line for all these people, and someone's got to entertain them, man. All these freaking clowns in here, they're boring, man. They're supposed to put their opponents to sleep. They're putting the fans to sleep.
Usman defeats Woodley by decision and becomes the new UFC welterweight champion.
Kamaru Usman, with the performance of his career, not only beating Tyron Woodley, completely dominating him. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. He really controlled him in every facet of the game, won every round, won at least one round 10-8, if not multiple rounds 10-8. What is your take on this really magnificent performance put on by Usman?
I feel like we all slept on him a little bit. I mean, I think everybody I talked to was like, hey, he's a live dog. I don't think people would have been shocked if he won the fight, but to dominate it from horn to horn for 25 minutes and really just dictate the whole fight where it took place. Even in a couple of the exchanges, I thought he got the better of Woodley on those rare occasions where they broke out a little bit. I don't know what to say, man. I wouldn't have guessed in a million years that he would dominate the fight like that, where he's just suffocating Woodley, closing him, using the clinch, putting him against the fence, just making it a grimy affair where I felt like Woodley I felt like he came off his moorings early in that fight and he just never knew how to recover. I felt like he just kind of kept his guns holstered because he was just one of those big fight moments where he just didn't know what to do. But hats off to Usman, man, because that was the performance of his career. He didn't get the finish. Like, I thought, like, if he was going to win, maybe that would be the way to get him over. But I think he was so dominant. And they had the next challenger obviously right there in the front row.
And we will get to our friend Colby in a minute.
But just given all those factors, I feel like he did enough to kind of to set up his next fight and make him more formidable in that fight.
nothing but respect for Tyron. I respect that man. I remember when he won the title, I was at his after party, and me and Rashad brought me in, and I got a chance to sit up there next to him, and we sat down. He was just chilling, and I sat next to him, and I whispered in his ear, and I asked him, and I said, "Hey, how do you feel now that you're champion? What's the difference?" And he told me, he said, "Nothing really. I still feel the same." And at that moment, I said, "You know what? I think I can do this. I can do it." I mean, Rashad has been pouring into me the whole time, telling me that I will be able to do this. And, you say it. I said that, you know what? I'm coming for that welterweight strap, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it. I'm a math guy. Okay, that's the answer. This is the formula. Now we got to work out the problems in order to be able to get there. And, tonight was my night.
I'm sure you saw Colby Covington cage side. I mean, is that the right fight for you?
Can I curse up
rematch.
here?
What's that?
Can I curse up here?
Of course you can.
I want to fuck that guy up so bad. I can't be in a room with that guy. I can't be in a room with him. It's like, I just can't. And, I can't wait to be healed up and really get to put my hands on him. You know what? That's one I'm going to enjoy, brutalizing him.
We all know Colby has avoided this fight for a long, long time. And you know what? Now it's time for you to do the appropriate work to make sure you deserve this fight, because that's what he does. That's what he thrives on. He thinks that he's deserving of everything. He always puts it out there. "Oh, I deserve this. This is what you owe me. This is what you owe." No, it's not about that. Now it's you're not in the driver's seat to make that decision. It's for the promotion, and it's for my team that are in that position to make that decision.
What happened at the Palms, Colby?
The Palms, it was just, it's just one of those things. I've said it before. You can't put me in a room with that guy and expect something not to pop off. I mean, it was just one of those situations to where, and you saw that all week. He was there all week to try to distract me, disrupt me. And he said, and you guys heard the chants the whole week. Oh, actually, I think at my open workout, the one thing that I did hear from him while he was speaking through that whatever megaphone, whatever that, he was saying, "Oh, how does it feel to know that you're going to get knocked out tomorrow by Tyron Woodley? How does it feel, that you're going to get knocked out?" So the whole time, he's trying to speak these things out as if I'm already going to lose. But listen, you showed your true colors. You were worried about me. Did you see him at the Woodley's open workout? You didn't crash his open workout and do that. You crashed mine because you were worried about me getting that belt. You've avoided a fight with me for a long, long time. You knew that you didn't want this fight. But now I'm in a position to where you can't run from that fight anymore. Now you have to, as I've said, you have to beg me for that fight. For me, my whole base is I'm an immigrant. Obviously my family immigrated here to give us the best possible opportunities in life, which is why a lot of immigrants immigrate here. And that kind of plays on the dynamic of this other guy who wants to fight me now is this guy feels very entitled. As you see him all the time, and especially now, his whole rant. "Dana, you promised me this. Dana, I deserve this. Why'd you give me this interim belt if I wasn't going to be next?" And that's just kind of his mentality, how he's going about situations now. That's not who I am. We immigrated here to give me that opportunity, but I had to take that opportunity. I had to put my heart and soul into what I was gonna do in order to be at the pinnacle of it. And so I've put the hard work in, which is why I'm in the position that I am in now. And this guy, I feel like, is trying to divide us. He's trying to divide all humans. "Oh, you guys are immigrants. You don't deserve this, or you don't deserve that. Oh, I deserve it before you." It doesn't work like that. When you put the hard work in, you see the results. And I think that's what, if that fight does come to fruition, that's what that fight is going to symbolize.
March 16th, 2019, UFC on ESPN Plus 5, Till versus Masvidal, London, England. Despite riding a 2-fight losing streak, Masvidal is booked against fellow top contender and recent title challenger, Darren Till.
My experience though, my fighting style, and my perseverance mixed with the game that I have, that I'm just a dog. I'm not going to quit. He's never seen nothing like me in his life. I guarantee you. After Saturday, he'll write a book on what he learned from me,
I think of Ben Askren coming over here. He seems to think he's automatically getting the winner of this fight. I know Leon Edwards and Gunnar Nelson also have said they think they're going to get the winner of this fight. But in Ben Askren in particular, do you think that's a bad idea for him based on how he got on against predominantly a striker and Robbie Lawler in his first outing, coming in against you or Till, depending on who the winner is?
For one, we won't even mention no more names on my interview of these guys because we just gave them a whole lot of press, bro. Nobody even knew those bums before you mentioned them right now, you know? And that's something that the media and like the fans, like if you just talk, you know, I mentioned this in a couple of interviews. If I start talking bad about Donald Trump, my president, they're not gonna go to an interview of him and be like, hey, this guy Jorge Masvidal is talking junk about. No, it's not gonna happen, you know? Why it happens in MMA, I don't know, you know? We got number 37 of the world calling me out and number whatever the fuck calling me out. Meanwhile, I'm fighting number 3. You know, and my ranking has dropped because I've been inactive for a while. But I'm fighting the hardest, best fight that I could get out. Why do I care about anybody else? And they constantly get brought up in other interviews, you know. Ben could say and do whatever the fuck he wants. He's a punk. Robbie didn't go to sleep. So I get it. In the moment you get caught up, my hands are up in the air, I won. You see the replay as a man. You see the replay and you see that he has a thumbs up. I never seen somebody sleeping like that. I would say, let's do it again. I'm gonna fuck you up without a doubt, show it to the world. But he's a weasel, he's a punk here already. Before they even brought that up, he said, no, not a chance, not doing it. Why? Why? Because you're not a fucking man, you're a punk and the bitch in you will be brought out. Am I fighting him after this fight? No, because I'm fighting for the title, but I will break his face at some point. I don't know if it'll be in a parking lot, I don't know if it'll be at a gym, I don't know if it'll be in the octagon. But that guy ever gets fresh with me in person, that's right then and right there, you know? Plus, I don't like his corny ass, you know? And I'm upset that you brought him up, and all interviewers, stop asking me about Ben and the other dude from England. Don't give a fuck. All interviews, please listen, because the next guy that does is just gonna get shooed away. I don't wanna hear about these bums in my interview, you know?
Jorge Masvidal crushes Till by knockout midway through the second round. July 6, 2019, UFC 239 Jones vs. Santos, Las Vegas, Nevada. Gamebred is set to face the undefeated Ben Askren.
What round and how are you going to do it?
We're gonna do it painfully and brutally. That's for sure. I don't like this dude, as everybody can know. So it's gonna be brutal, man. It's gonna be painful, man. I don't know what round yet, but it's gonna be painful.
Will this be Darren Till Part 2? Or how are you preparing for this, brother?
Nah, this is different, man. Darren Till woke up eventually. I don't know if Buddy's gonna wake up.
Damn, you're the man, Jorge. You're the man. You got this, brother.
You know this guy's gonna try to grab you and hug you the whole fight, right?
He's gonna try to put his face in my crotch, yes.
So what I'm wondering is, are you feeling a little knee on the way in? Are we gonna go with an uppercut? Are we gonna go with a flying knee? What are you feeling?
We got something that's not usually listed on the menu when you pull up to the drive-thru. It's gonna be it's on the special files for his ass, man. He's gonna find out July 6th though. I've never in all my pro fights had more fans come up to me and request the ending of somebody. Never, ever, never. It's always like, yeah, fuck that guy. But I've never had specific demands like, can you sink in his eye orbital so he can no longer see from that side? And I've jotted down all of them and I've said, I'm putting it out in the universe. I'm gonna try to make your wishes come true. You know? So I've never had so much animosity towards a fighter that I've ever fought in my whole fucking career, man. From the fans, you know? I mean, even yesterday when I was done at the open workouts, some lady had drawn a picture of him, showed it to me, threw it on the floor, started stepping on him. This is what I want you to do to his face. I was like, yeah, I swear, my coaches were there. Maybe the UFC and better picked it up, you know, but it was pretty fucking entertaining, man. He's a master, I'll tell you what, he's a master of stuffing his face in men's crotches. Grandmaster. That, I can't take that away from him. I've never seen nobody do that at that level.
How do you incorporate that into the training?
It's weird, man, because I'm not into dudes having their face in my crotch, bro. It's not something I've grown to like, you know, so there's a lot of defenses for that, you know, and I've been working on each and every one of them.
In quite possibly the most spectacular knockout in UFC history, Masvidal removes Askren from consciousness with a flying knee at 5 seconds in the very first round.
I saw some criticism. People say the punches weren't really necessary. Maybe
They were super necessary.
Why were they necessary?
What do you mean, why were they not necessary?
Because he was already knocked out at that point.
But the referee hadn't pulled me off. And my job is to hit somebody till the referee pulls me off. So to those people, I would say maybe don't watch MMA, go back to soccer.
I saw some other criticisms perhaps of your celebration afterwards. Any regrets at the celebration or your behavior in the cage afterwards?
Man, there's not too many people that I've disliked. I have over 50 pro fights, and he's one of them. You know, he talked about my manhood, talked about my culture, my ethnicity. Where do we draw? Why do certain people get to do stuff online? So you could do anything. Everything is cool before a fight. You're allowed to do and say whatever you want, like other fighters are not doing. Talking about people's religions, wife, even kids. That's cool. But after a fight, I'm not allowed to showboat and rub it in your face. So you and guys like you could see it and be like, maybe I don't talk so much shit because when I cross one of these real motherfuckers, they're gonna make me pay for it, man. They're gonna embarrass the shit out of me. And it's not over for Ben either. He still has to deal with me. If I see him at Whole Foods, I'm gonna still slap that dude up because I don't like him. He got the head buster with no longer with us clavicle. He got all types of shit. Then he got those punches to the face, you know, because I thought he was gonna get up.
That maybe one day you guys could drop the beef, or do you think is this a permanent thing?
Oh no, it's not beef, because if it was beef, it'd be different. I'd be at the front of his house waiting for him right now. It's not beef. This is just, I don't like my coworker, we could say, but this is not beef, you know. This is just some idiot I don't like, you know. But my job, thank God, you guys gotta be jealous of this for me. I get to punch the coworkers I don't like in the face.
November 2nd, 2019. UFC 244, Masvidal versus Diaz, New York, New York. The baddest motherfucker in the game, Nathan Diaz, puts a personal title on the line against Jorge Gamebred Masvidal as the main event at Madison Square Garden.
Can you just talk about preparing to this fight and how your mental state differs as opposed to fighting a big trash talker like Askren or McGregor?
Yeah, I heard him. I mean, when people talk shit, it is motivating because there's some dudes you're not gonna lose to. And Askren is that dude I'm not losing on any universe to, you know. So the shit talking does help. Man, it just helps when the guy on the other side that you're fighting wants to hurt you and you know it. That's enough motivation for me right there.
Yeah, it's just like I train for every fight. There's really not a lot of trash going on and a lot of fights I'm in anyway, so it's just like normal. I'm just glad to have a worthy opponent and a worthy venue to be in.
So, you know, when Nate did his interview that night, he basically said, this is for the baddest motherfucker in the game. So, he was defending the baddest motherfucker in the game. So, you know, this is one of those fights that after that interview, you know, it started to build a life of its own through the fans and the media. And we didn't seriously start talking about this fight till maybe a couple weeks later in a matchmaking meeting. And I said to my guys, listen, tell me if I'm crazy, but what do you think about us actually having a baddest motherfucker in the game belt? And my guys loved it, and we started talking about it. So I went in with the design team at UFC. Right. We started to design it, and I will physically have that belt when I come back to New York. It'll be ready.
Oh, it definitely has a special place. Not because it's an MSG, not just because the BMF title, not because so many other surrounding factors make this event one of the biggest events of UFC history. It's just because the guy that I'm fighting. If I was fighting him in the parking lot, if I was fighting him in his backyard, man, to me, it's always the fighter, the guy that I got to cross that makes my moment. It's like, yes, you know, and it's not from a disrespectful place or nothing, but it's like a chess player that wouldn't want to play chess with somebody like me because I'm a novice, would want to challenge himself and play the best player of all time. It's the same thing. I want to fight the greatest guys of my generation and hurt him.
How cautious you guys the most submissions from bottom in UFC history? If there's a situation where you're on top, how cautious?
I gotta be cautious always, you know. That's one of his strong points is being off his back, landing submissions. But then again, I come from the world's best gym, and I firmly believe that. I've been saying that for years. We got animals over there on the regular, guys that nobody's ever heard of. They're just insane off their back. So I'm not too worried about me getting in trouble if I'm on top of them, especially if the strikes are allowed. Is the strikes and elbows allowed in this one? Yeah? Okay, I'll be all right.
Jorge Masvidal wins via TKO at the end of the third round when the cage-side doctor stops the fight due to cuts over Nate Diaz's eyes.
If the fight wasn't going to get stopped, what was going to be your game plan for the fourth and fifth round?
Well, I swear to God, I initially was like, man, I hope I haven't been running, because my confidence wasn't as high as it is, because I'm running and I'm putting these miles that people can't keep up with, except for Jose and Allen. But when I'm like that, I could go 95% for the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So this time there was like little bump ups of how hard I was gonna like tell myself, okay, ease up. And I was like, around the third round, I've started to feel him start grabbing onto me. On the fence, you could see he was like holding me on the fence one time. And I was like, this fool's gonna go for a takedown or something, or start drilling me with these knees. And he wasn't doing anything. I was like, oh, okay, you're just preserving. So I started smacking him in his face this way, like that, and his head turned to the side. I started smacking him in his face this way. Not even technical fighting. Schoolyard. Like, oh, you're gonna just hold me? I'm just gonna smack you in your face as many times. So, and on the bottom, and I was hitting him. I was like, "Where you at, motherfucker?" And then he spit it back. Oh, I'm right here. I'm right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I hear you starting to fade away. I think it's gonna start getting better for me. And then I go back to my corner, and I'm telling my corner over here, they're talking to me. I'm like, hey, Ken, let's calm down a little bit, because I always get a ruckus out the corner because I bleed everywhere. And so I'm like, hey, let's just chill so I can breathe. And I'm looking over here. I'm like, yeah, I think this guy's easing up. I think if it's gonna get better for me, it's gonna start getting better for me right now. And then the guy's like, oh, I'm like, no, we good. We get it, and he's like, okay, we're good. And he goes over and he stops the fight. And I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? That pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? It makes me really mad.
One more.
As far as painting my Picasso, I almost got to do it, you know. I heard a lot of comments. I read a lot of media stuff, people talking about when the later the fight goes, or if the fight hits the ground, or in certain situations, I'd be outworked and outclassed. Not happening. I want somebody to pull up a fight that I faded in the fourth or fifth round. That's not gonna happen. What happened in the third was just gonna keep happening in the fourth and in the fifth. I haven't eaten either, so I was ready to fuck him up. Keep going, man. Nate's a fucking dog, though. There's those same shots I've hit a lot of people. I pulled him like a long chair. You literally gotta kill that dude. I said in every leading up to this, or it wasn't a line, man. You gotta kill that dude. I'm the most competitive person this whole fucking company's ever seen, man. I don't want nothing to take my greatness to say some guy tripped on a pebble and that's how I beat him. That's not me. I want to end him. I want to send him off to another dimension. I got nothing but respect for the dude, but that's the type of artwork I like to do. I didn't get it on this one. Are we going to rematch tomorrow, next week? I don't know, but it will happen at some point, you know.
Conor McGregor said that he is going to come back January 18th. And Dana White said...
Come back to what?
To MMA, to the UFC.
What do you mean, like fighting in the cage?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That dude's been talking wild for a second. If he fights and gets a victory, and he wants this, and some of you motherfuckers are mean, man, because you know what the fuck I'll do to that little dude, bro. I'll fuck that little guy up, man. He's a fucking midget. Dana White, president of this motherfucking company, said I'm too much man for him. I get it why people want to see him hurt for the stunts he's been pulling, but he don't want this shit. He's just talking so you get his name out there. He was cheering for Nate. He wanted to run it back with Nate. You think he's at home seeing that fight saying, I want to fight that dude? That dude ain't retarded. You see, he punches old people in the face because those are fights that he could win. He don't want this shit. Thank you guys, man. Good questions today, man. You guys keep it up, step it up. I like this, stepping it up.
December 14th, 2019, UFC 245, Usman versus Covington, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nobody cares about you. Gas out in 3 rounds.
Listen,
Gassed out.
Bottom line is,
Everybody knows you're on.
Everybody thought my last fight was going to be competitive.
$25,000 if you could pee in a cup right now and it passes.
Put your money up.
I will. I'll put it up right now.
Bring it out. Pull it up.
Put it up right now. 25 grand.
Is the money sitting in your private jet?
It is, buddy.
What do you make of this insinuation from Colby that, you're on steroids, you can't, piss in a cup clean, all that stuff?
They all say that, with the way I'm beating guys, they all say that. But It is what it is. December 14th, there will be a beheading and everyone will see it and watch it live.
That's not a very good explanation, buddy. You sound like you're stuttering over there. You okay? Everybody knows the Black Zillions team is notorious for doing steroids. You know, Anthony Johnson, Rashad Evans, all the guys over there. Alistar over him when he was over there. You know, I have inside information that, you know, he was doing EPO for a couple years and that's just that. That's a fact. You know, he has no good response. He can't even defend himself. So I think it's pretty clear he's on steroids, but it's not going to make a difference because when I get my hands on him, he will melt.
Kamaru Usman will defend his welterweight title for the first time against Colby Covington as the main event for UFC 245 in Las Vegas, Nevada. In one of the most exciting fights of the year, Usman finishes Covington by TKO in round 5 and retains his UFC championship.
I'm going to be honest, this was what kept me sane all 6-7 months. Whenever this fight, I knew this fight was going to happen. This is what kept me sane, is this moment right here after the fight. That's what I look forward to. This is the addictive moment. This is what keeps me doing this. Yeah, there was a lot emotionally, a lot that he said. This one, and I meant it, this one's for the world. This one's for the people of Brazil. This one is for my former manager. This one is for my family. This one is for my recent manager. This one is for everybody. And, you know, when you push hate and you push separation, you know, love and unity does win sometimes. And tonight it won. Where's this gas tank at? Everybody's talking about this gas tank. Where is this gas? I was actually waiting for him to wrestle, but I knew that he knew if he wrestled with me, he was going to gas out and I was going to knock him out a lot quicker than that. Tyron Woodley has better accolades wrestling than he does. And you saw what happened in that fight. He knew he couldn't wrestle with me and striking with me. And that was his best chance. And, you know, we saw what happened there.
And then the last thing for me, crowd was chanting USA, and it seemed like it was for him. You know, you're an American citizen. You've been here for a long
time. It's for me too. What you talking about? It was chanting USA for me. Let's be honest. I've said it time and time again. I'm more American than him. You know, I am what it means to be an American. You know, I'm an immigrant that come here and work my ass off tirelessly to get to the top. And I'm still prevailing. And so that's what it means to be an American. It's not necessarily, oh, just because you're born here, you feel privileged is what it means to be an American. No, I told you, none of these guys work harder than me. That's what it means to be an American. I work my ass off and I'm going to continue to work my ass off. And obviously with good integrity. I don't have to walk around like a punk and say certain things and abuse the whole country, abuse the whole world and talk about people and religions and things like that. I don't have to, you know. I'm going to walk with integrity because at the end of the day, I want everyone that's watching me, every eye that's on me to look at me and say, you know what? That's what we want to be. That's the example that we like. And so, you know, I'm more American than him. So when they were chanting USA, that was, you damn sure better believe that was because of me.
July 11th, 2020, UFC 251, Usman versus Masvidal, Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Originally booked as Kamaru Usman defending his welterweight title against Gilbert Burns, Burns is removed from the bout after testing positive for COVID-19, and Masvidal is brought in at the 11th hour. Kamaru Usman now faces Jorge Masvidal as the main event at UFC 251.
How important is the title to you, the actual welterweight championship?
It's definitely important because it says that you are the best. I don't believe it some of the times. A lot of the times it's just promotional stunts. In this case, it being, you know, I'm gonna prove it. I know there's the whole world saying that Usman will this or that, and me, myself, and I saying, nah, he's not the champ. I'm the champ, and I'm gonna prove it when we get in there. You know, there's a reason why he doesn't want to fight me, and he says he wants to fight a guy that's ranked under me that he already beat. He says it's a tougher fight. And how many stoppages does that individual that he's talking about have in his whole record compared to mine? You know, you guys ain't idiots, neither is the public. Usman can try to sell whatever he wants to the public, but people ain't stupid, man. You're a fucking idiot if anybody's gonna believe this shit. You're saying you already beat that guy and he's ranked under me. How is he a tougher fight than me? Explain. What do you consider a tougher fight? Me breaking your face or you possibly beating him? That's what I guess he's thinking, man. Because he knows his time is up. And another thing I'll say while all the press is here, Usman's coaches that were in his corner for his last fight, sparring partners, all that stuff, is my graduating class from American Top Team. I think a lot of you might have known the Black Zillions. They're no longer with us, but they were a part of ATT. They used to be with us. So a lot of those coaches that he has in his corner right now are the same dudes that are telling him, don't fight that guy, bro. He's gonna fuck you up, man. We know who that guy is. You know who you are. Fake the injury when the time comes, because this one's not going your way. And that's really the main reason why he doesn't like to address me, because he knows, man, this shit is for real. Usman, I can't stand him, man. I can't stand that dude. I'll be honest with you, so I'll pick Usman all day. But it's business, right? Always, especially for me. So I'd pick Khan in the real life. But if it's all the same potatoes and tomatoes, I will break his fucking face, man, in a violent way. I don't like how he's been playing. At first, I came at him with a lot of respect. And now he's been talking too much shit, bro. And I just want to shut his mouth up. That's it, you know?
If you fought Masvidal and he comes with a flying knee like Ben Askren, you have anything in store for him?
Well, first of all, I'm not Ben Askren. And so, I just take the fight how they come. If that fight does happen, then, I'll go in there and do my job, which is dominate an opponent from start to finish, maybe get another broken jaw, who knows?
Thank you, champ.
Thank you. This is a game to kind of where you need to fight the contenders that are there. And if you look right now, and what if this is just an average guy that's looking into the sport of martial arts, and they're like, oh, the welterweight champion is gonna fight somebody, who is that contender? And they look through the rankings and they want to know who the next best guy is. And if you look in that top 10, I've beat half of them. I've gone through half of them, in the top half of them. Who in that top 10 has this guy beat? To me, is this being a contender, or is this the hype? There's two different things. Of course, when there's a lot of hype, people want to see the fight. Of course, they make the fight happen. But when it's, a true contender that has been running through the division, beating all the worthy guys to get there, of course, I'll be happy to take on that, because I know that's the next toughest, best challenge. That's all that is.
Well, what would he have to do to sort of get on your radar and I guess prove himself in your mind to be the next worthy contender?
Who?
Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, okay.
Just last one from me. I know you're the welterweight champion, so obviously that means a great deal to you, but would it mean to you anything to sort of, if you fought Jorge, to fight for the BMF title and sort of, add that to your collection?
Who and what? I'm not interested in the best mediocre fighter title. I'm not interested in that. This is gold. Like, when I got into sports, I always shot for the best, and last time I checked, the prices on silver wasn't continuously going up. The prices on gold is going up. So, I always wanted the gold, not silver. So I got the gold, and that's all matters to me.
Usman cruises to a dominant decision victory.
A lot of people were thinking that he would be out of shape for this fight. He wasn't. I mean, he's been training, and he came in prepared. He came in ready. Of course, I would like a lot more time to really strategically prepare for a guy like him, to really pick him apart better than I did tonight. But I had to do what I do best, and that's dominate a guy from start to finish. And he's a veteran. He's a crafty veteran. He's got tricks that a lot to the untrained eye people don't see. He's got a lot of tricks there, but I would love to do that fight again. With especially you see my last couple fights. I like to pick my spots. I like to really pick a guy apart, and I've evolved so much, but I still got tools in the tool shed. So if I need to wrestle, that damn motherfucker, I'm gonna wrestle, but I need to showcase a lot more of what I have in the toolbox, and I would love to do that with a lot more time. When you watch a fighter, when they're afraid of someone's wrestling, afraid of being taken down, they're crouched over in a stance, they're very low, and they're afraid to throw kicks and things of that nature. Masvidal's not. He's standing straight up, bouncing up and down. He's firing off those kicks at will. And I knew he was going to be a tough guy. His wrestling's always been good, but my wrestling's just a little bit better. My wrestling is just a little bit better than everybody. Just tactically, how to put a whole fight together. I'm just a little bit better than everybody in this division. That's why I'm the champion.
What's it going to take for you to be known as the greatest welterweight of all time?
I mean, just continue to do what I've been doing, and that's dominating opponents and winning. And that's how George got there. If a lot of people, MMA fans, really look at what George did towards the latter part of his career, they looked a lot like that. Dominate a guy, take them down, just beat them up, and utilize each and every aspect of the martial arts, mixed martial arts, and I think I'm on the same track. And so, yeah, we're both tied for most consecutive wins, and that's a fight that I look at and I love, and I want a fight like that to be able to train and showcase all my skills and have him showcase his skills. I think that's a crazy fight. It's a huge fight, and I think a lot of people would want to see it.
Weight cut was tough. Like everybody knows, I had a little bit of weight to cut, but I'm not gonna sit here and make excuses. He won. I gambled the dice on myself. I knew I didn't have the greatest gas tank coming in, but I'm still a dangerous man. 6 days, 1 day, 6 weeks. So hats off to him. We'll do it again. I wasn't my best performance tonight, but everybody could see I have a dog in me. That dog doesn't shut up or roll over for nobody. I was very tired at some spots, and I was able to dig down and bring it back to my feet. I'm not happy with my performance or nothing, but I'm telling everybody, I'll be back and stronger. Since I've moved up to 170, I haven't had to cut weight more than like 8-9 pounds, and it's something that when I left 155, I told myself I wouldn't be doing it more. So for the next fight, I'll make sure that I'm back on schedule. I got barely any weight to cut, and I'll be feeling great, whoever the opponent is. I don't know if I'll be coming back at the end of the year or early next year. I'm going to sit down with my management and figure that out. But whoever it is next year, I just want to come back and get a stoppage and be in peak shape. Have a six-pack when I get out there, look right,
February 13th, 2021. UFC 258. Usman versus Burns. Las Vegas, Nevada. Now booked for the third time, the UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman will defend his title against the challenger and teammate Gilbert Burns in the main event at the UFC Apex.
At the end of the day with me, I see, when it comes down to it, I see no face. This wasn't something that I said. I didn't pick him out of a lineup and say, yeah, that's the guy that I'm gonna take out. I'm sitting at the king of the, I'm at the king of the hill. I'm sitting up at the top, and he's the one who picked the fight. These are the guys that say, no, we want what he has. So when you want what I have to defend that. And so I have to go in there and show them why I'm sitting at the top.
I learned very, very early in the game when I was 1-1, and I had lost my second professional fight, and I was thinking, man, how do I build a resume? Like, what's going on here? And then it was the first time I actually ever, I was living with Rashad Evans at the time. I Googled him, and I saw his Sherdog, and I was looking at Sherdog, and I think he started his career out at like maybe 10-0 or something crazy like that. And I just remember going through and just seeing all the greens and wins and wins and wins. And I'm thinking to myself, how could I ever one day get this many greens on my resume? How could I do that? And I remember the talk with him where he was just like, you know what? You just got to take it one fight at a time. One fight at a time. Just focus on the task at hand. And then when you're said and done, they will pile up. And that's what I've done. And I started doing that. And before you know it, I was 5-1, defending my team on the Ultimate Fighter finale. Next thing you know, everyone's saying, hey, you got one more fight to tie George St. Pierre for this record. So as long as I continue to just take it one fight at a time, I think, that's the important thing. So legacy, that's something that will come after when you look back on your achievements. But this fight is definitely important. Gilbert Burns is the toughest test to date, which is why he's fighting me right now. If he wasn't the toughest guy, he wouldn't be in there with me. I take him very seriously, and I'm worried and focused on just him. Once we get through him, then we could, when I'm done with my career, then we could worry about legacy.
After surviving an early scare, Usman settles down and finishes Burns early into round 3.
This one was tough. Initially coming in, it was tough for me, but I said it earlier in interviews, like my mind is different than these guys when we get in there. I see no face. That is my octagon. And I said earlier, you know, he said, oh, I have something he wants and he's coming to get it. What's more personal than that, than somebody that you grew up in the sport with, that you train with daily, looking at your food, looking at your plate and saying, you know what, I want his plate. You know, I'm not happy with mine, I want his plate. What's more personal than that? And I say it to these guys, anything you say can and will be used against you when you step inside that octagon with me. And I remember watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, and I was like, oh, this guy thinks like I do. Because when I go into competition with these guys, that's exactly how I think. If you give me anything, if I even hear you say in a video, oh, I'm gonna knock what you gonna do to me? Oh, you better be ready to back that up when we step inside that octagon. Well, like I said, put some respect on my name for a reason. You know, that fight, he had a built-in excuse. That's the only reason he took that fight. We tried to make that fight twice before. He said no. You know, for the May, you know, we know when Khabib and I think it was Ferguson, when they fell out, we tried. I called Dana right away. I said, hey, it's 2 weeks notice. I haven't really been training, but I'll step in if you need me to. And they tried to make that fight, but Masvidal said no. And then he did an interview to where he said, oh, well, the numbers weren't right and this and that. He's been saying no. The only reason he took that fight on Fight Island is because it was a built-in excuse. He was training the whole time. But he said, oh, I only had 6 days notice, so that's why that went that way. Well, guess what? I'll give you a whole training camp, and this time I will stop him. I promise you. That's why I was disappointed in myself that last fight, because I know I could stop him. But with all the circumstances that took place, I just went out there and dominated him from start to finish. So this time I will stop him if he wants to step up. But I guarantee you he doesn't want to. He's going to be quiet.
April 24th, 2021. UFC 261. Usman versus Masvidal 2. Jacksonville, Florida. The champion Kamaru Usman will face Jorge Masvidal once again, but this time, the challenger will have the benefit of a full training camp to prepare. And, for the first time since March 7th, 2020, the event will be held before a full capacity crowd of 15,000 people.